fantastic. We'll bring you live and exclusive commentary of Chris Eubank Jr.'s rematch with Liam Smith on Saturday, the 2nd of September, live from Manchester. We'll speak to Liam in just a moment. Let me tell you, though, it joins, of course, an exciting schedule of live boxing on the station, including Jake Paul against Nate Diaz. That's on the 5th of August. AJ's heavyweight bout with Dillian White. That's on August the 12th. And the rematch between Joyce and Zhilei Zhang on the 23rd of September. How about that? That's going to be great.
Yeah.
That is Smith against Eubank. It's live on talkSPORT and exclusive. You can listen free right here. In fact, let's speak to the man himself now and say good afternoon, good evening to Liam Smith, who joins us live on Drive. Hi, Liam. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm very well. Thanks so much for coming on. We've got so much to talk to you about. Firstly, congratulations on getting this fight back on. That obviously means you're back to full fitness on the back of that back injury you had. How bad was it? Whereabouts are you now? Is it completely healed?
Yeah, it's completely healed now. It was bad. Obviously, it was bad enough for me to, have to pull out of a fight. I haven't pulled out of many over my whole career. Been pro a long time, but it was bad. I had the MRI scan and stuff on it. So, I'm just happy now. I'm over that injury. I'm back in the gym full steam ahead, and the rematch is announced now, and the date's here, so we've got something to aim towards.
Then the first fight, you were overwhelmingly the better boxer, and you finished it in the 4th round. Eubank has come out and said that the referee ended it a little bit early. What are your thoughts on that?
That was one that I never expected, to be honest with you. And I knew Chris would come with some sort of excuse because he activated the rematch clause, but that was one that surprised me and surprised probably the whole of British boxing. The room kind of laughed when he blamed the referee. Yeah. I thought Chris was going to come with something like he was only 50% or, blame, and did he come up with some sort of elbow shout as well? One person I didn't expect him to blame was the referee, and that's why at the time he blamed the referee. I also reminded Chris, your cornerman was also on the apron with the towel, so both of them were at fault.
Listen, I agree with Jason. I think we had Chris Eubank Jr. on. I said the same to him, actually. I thought it was very much one-sided, and you were easily the winner, and the referee was right to stop it when he did. But I understand him coming out with something. He obviously wants the rematch. So firstly, with regards to Chris Eubank Jr., do you think it's make or break for him? If you beat him again, do you think that will be the end of his career? And also, is this definitely the last fight? If, heaven forbid, that you lose it, do we see a third clash? Or either way, is this the last time you two meet?
Chris Eubank Jr. doesn't beat me, so this is the end of the Smith Eubank. Whether Chris carries on after this, is down to Chris and Chris's team. He probably does because, ego aside. I think he said he wouldn't fight again if he lost the first one, but they put a rematch clause in for a reason. So, Chris will probably fight on. I can't see him retiring. He will make some sort of excuse again.
Liam, when you go into a fight like this, that you won so overwhelmingly the way you did, he's got to do something different. He's got to try and find a way to beat you. When you go into this, do you do anything different about your game, or do you go into exactly the same way as you did the first fight?
It's hard for some boxers, but at the level I've been at in my whole career, no matter what, I'll train to the best of my ability away from Chris Eubank Jr., away from cameras, but I've got to expect something different from Chris, because if I get the same Chris, I wipe the floor with him again. So I've got to expect something different from Chris now, whether it be a more aggressive Chris, whether it be maybe a more active Chris, I don't know, but I've got to expect something different, because if I don't expect something different, it's a foregone conclusion who wins. So I think Chris has to come with something different, and I've got to expect something different too.
I can't remember who I predicted to win the fight actually last time out, but what I didn't predict was...
Oh, you said Eubank.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, of course. But what I didn't see was you winning as quickly as you did and as comfortably as you did as well. Did you think it would be as easy for you, that fight?
No, look, I think the big shock for the British public was, because you have to look back at the week beforehand and what was said to me. It was like it's impossible to hear Chris Eubank Jr. with a headshot, and that is the big surprise for people. I know I hear Chris in sparring the body. Yeah, okay, maybe didn't hit him the head, but I told everybody before, and don't think no fighter at any level cannot be hurt, and that was the best way to answer all the critics, and best way to basically teach people never judge it because they've never been hurt before, that they can never be hurt, because any one of us who sign up for this boxing game can be hurt at any given point, and that was the best case to do it to Chris.
Liam, we know there was bad blood going into a fight, and there often is with boxing. Sometimes it's put on, sometimes it's not. But over some of the things that have been said, and now the fight's been put back a couple of times because of your injury, and that might intensify things. But when you go into a fight, do you prefer to have that angst with the other boxers? Is it easier for you to go in knowing there is bad blood? Is that preferable for you?
No, not really bad blood. I'd rather go into a fight knowing a fighter's a very good fighter than give me a fear factor that if I'm not on my game here, I could lose. I would prefer that type rather than back and forth and animosity in that way. Like I say, not very rarely anything's going to happen at a press conference or away, and we're not going to get up and start fighting. No. It is just all pointless, to be honest with you. And no, I would prefer to have fear away from the gym. Not the bad blood type of fear. I prefer, right, I'm in with a good fighter here, and if I don't turn up, I'm going to lose.
You're only 34. I say only. I still think that's pretty young for a boxer. This will be your 38th fight. Have you thought about where you go after this victory?
Yeah, I have actually, but I've thought one way. I haven't thought any other way. I've thought, I said beforehand, I was tied into this rematch clause. You've heard all the talk of Chris and Conor over the past couple of months, but I was tied into it, so I knew I had to have this rematch clause before I move on then to challenge for a world title, or whether I go and beat Conor Benn up, or whether I go and drag Kell out of retirement and beat him up. We'll wait and see, but like I said, I'll beat Chris Eubank Jr. I'm in a good position again. I'm in a position for big fights, domestic fights with Conor or Kell Brook, or a challenge for a world title again.
Would you? This is a serious question. You obviously understand where I'm going with it. Would you fight a UFC fighter?
Yeah, I'll be dead honest with you. I would, like I said, if everything married up, if the money was right and the event was right, then yeah, of course I would. I like fighting, whether it's boxing or I'm a fighter. It's all I know. So yeah, I would do.
What's your take on the Tyson Fury angle here?
Look, what I've just said before, I think it's interesting. It's a money spinner. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like to the baddest men on the planet, if that makes sense. If you're the heavyweight world champion in boxing, you class as the baddest man on the planet, and the same with the UFC. Obviously, I know people are saying Ngannou's got a puncher's chance, but in my opinion, no. Does Francis Ngannou punch harder than Deontay Wilder? I don't think he does. He certainly doesn't punch correct as Deontay Wilder does. So, but I do see the event and the business side to it. And again, I'll be a liar if I say I won't watch it.
What do your brothers do going into fight week? Do they help you? Do they spar with you? What's the situation with you guys?
Me and Callum. There's only me and Callum still active, so me and Callum still do bits and help each other. We train together today. But Paul and Stephen are in the gym every day, giving every bit of advice they can. We're very close, and a fight week especially, the four of us are together, and we just keep each other occupied. We're very close brothers, and we do lots of stuff together outside the boxing anyway, so we're good.
Okay. Liam, I want to play you a piece of audio and then get your view on the back of it, if that's okay. Let's hear from Chris Eubank Sr. now. He joined Jim White and Simon Jordan on talkSPORT recently and discussed his son's defeat to yourself.
In boxing language, you're only as good as your last fight. And again, it wasn't my watch. He said he's his own boss and he got his own trainers in. And so he called in Roy Jones and he called in a fellow from Vegas.
And you don't agree with this?
How can I agree with it when I know the people he's involved with? He's surrounded by
opportunists?
That's too polite. That's why I say on my watch, you saw performances, that Yildirim performance. Proud of that. That was my watch.
Liam, do you think it makes it more difficult for Chris Eubank Jr. to produce the goods because he's under so much pressure because of who his dad is, do you think, and his dad's so vocal?
I think Chris didn't help that fact. Young Chris Jr. didn't help that fact when he also did portray his career along the lines of a showman thing like his dad was. And, I did actually watch the interview, what you've just played, and I seen Chris's dad saying, I won't be Chris Eubank Jr. on his watch, he said. But you know, I beat him up in sparring on your watch, Chris. So, you know, I do get him, and I feel for Chris is in what he's gone through over the past 12 months with his dad, and you know, with him losing his brother. I feel for him in that sense. I do think he's under a lot of pressure.
Do you feel sorry for him at all?
Look, I feel sorry for anyone who, you know, who's lost a family member like that. You know, me thoughts are with him in that sense. I'm a family man, and we're talking about me brothers. So yeah, I feel for him. You know what he's gone through, and I feel for him as in I don't think he's as close to his dad as he was. So yeah, I do feel for him in that sense.
So tell us, between now and fight night, you obviously had that injury. I think the fight's been postponed twice. I might be wrong, but what have you done in
once on my watch? We need to get this straight.
Right, okay, go on.
Yeah, you tell him, Liam. Tell him.
Callis Allen's putting 3, 4, 5 times out and stuff like this.
Right.
You know, I pulled out to June 17th, and
right.
you know, I pulled out with a back injury that was never going to be healed by July 1st. 2 weeks later, but a fight got announced for then, and they're the only dates I've heard of, and it's getting put to 4 or 5 times.
Can I? I've had a bad back before. Obviously not from doing anything you've done, but when I'm getting I make that noise now when you sit down. I get up, you go like that. But even now, when I go to get the remote control, I have to do it slowly in case I pop it out. Are you as conscious about your back as I am with mine, or not?
No, I'm conscious because it was a bad injury what I had, but I don't think, you know, touch wood, I don't think it's a bad back to do with age. Mine was me back.
Hold on. How old do you think I am?
No, I'm on about myself. I don't want to seem old type in boxing, but it was I classed it as me back because the pain was me back, but the injury was actually me hips, and it was compressing on a nerve, so that was the pain I was getting.
Right.
That must have been the same that I had. Don't
it's
do
just
my age.
It's easier to say I had a back injury.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's all those nights out. Listen, so going back to the question. So between now and fight night, because you've been able, have you been able to do anything? Or literally, have you rested? Because there's not a person listening, Liam, that hasn't had a bad back at some stage. Everyone's had a bad back. But what have you been able to do? And going into it, how can you intensify that to ensure the back trouble doesn't come again, or the hips?
So it was actually the day. So the fight got announced. We had the press conference to announce the rematch on the Tuesday, and then we just filmed. The gloves are off on the Thursday, and then I actually done this injury on the Friday, and then I was injured. I'd done nothing. I could not train for 6 weeks, and then I was seeing physio every other day, and you know, I had the MRI scan off the British Boxing Board, and then obviously we knew how to work around it now. But you know, touch wood, I'm fully over it now, and I'm in the gym training full time. I have been out for a number of weeks. 3 weeks now, so we're good to go.
Okay, well, listen, when you get to my age, all right, that back injury could be a lot worse. Listen, Liam, thank you so much for coming on. Good luck with the fight. We can't wait. We're so excited it's finally back on now, so good luck with that. Good luck with the training, and I'm sure we'll speak to you between now and then.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, lad.
Thanks. Our pleasure. There you go. A reminder, on Saturday, September the 2nd, talkSPORT will be bringing you exclusive boxing commentary of the much anticipated rematch between Liam Smith and Chris Eubank Jr. It's live from the Manchester Arena. It joins an exciting schedule of live boxing on the station, including Jake Paul against Nate Diaz. That's August the 5th. AJ's heavyweight bout with Dillian White. That's August the 12th. And, of course, the rematch between Joyce and Zhilei Zhang on September the 23rd. That's Smith against Eubank. It's live and exclusive and free to listen to right here on talkSPORT.
talkSPORT Drive with Andy Goldstein. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.